What's up, people? Welcome to your third 3DsMax tutorial, and this is the last tutorial that I'm going to teach you before we begin creating objects. And I know that's what you guys have all been waiting for, but this is the last tutorial that you need to know, and in the next one we're going to be begin making sweet objects. So if you're thinking about this just skipping to the next one, you can't do that because there are definitely some things in this tutorial that I need to teach you, or else you'll be lost when we start creating objects. And the main thing that I want to teach you in this tutorial, or the first topic, is what these buttons mean right here. All of these buttons are ways that you can edit your viewport. So let me go over the basics right here, the ones that we're going to be using most commonly. This zoom right here is your basic zoom in and out. If you go ahead and drag, you can zoom in and out, just like that. Now aside from that, you also got this little button right here, and this is the zoom extends. What this means is whenever you select an object and click it, it zooms up on that object automatically without having to adjust it like this. You just pick an object, click zoom extends, and it zooms up on it. Now aside from these, you got, well, let me go over probably two more. You got the pan, of course, and this is the hand. And this is just another way where you can pan around your object. And you also got this little button right here, and this is called the walkthrough. Now what this is, if it pretty much even looks like you're in a first-person shooter, it pretty much centers around one point, and you can look in different locations. So like boom, 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 boom. Just pretty much like you're in a first-person shooter. Just the camera stays in the same position, and it acts like it's on a tripod kinda, and it just rotates around that one axis. So that's pretty much the only thing we're going to be going over for viewports right now. Aside from that, aside from like the angles and stuff, I just want to let you know that you're not stuck with these 4 custom sizes or preset sizes. You can also customize it by either dragging up on one of these or going in the center until you get this little north, south, east, west arrows, and you can drag custom sizes right there. And if you're afraid to do that to mess everything up, I just want to let you know that if you right click any of these borders and click reset layout, you go back to defaults. So you can go ahead and play around with that, and anytime you want to get back, just right click it and press reset layout. So the last thing I'm going to be going over is the basic application buttons. And again, this application button is where pretty much a file button should be, but they changed it to a button instead. Now all of the files that we're going to be working with are called max files, .max. That's pretty much the default file when you're working with 3dsMax. Now in order to start a new application, brand new, you go to file button or the application button and click a new, and then go ahead and it says the scene has been modified. Do you want to save your changes? Well, I don't want to save that teapot for anything, so I'm going to click no. So now we go and we got a new file. But sometimes if your interface is like last time, giving you a new file does not give you a new interface. So anytime you have like all this adjusted and you have some of these moved around, anytime you want to get it back to how should we say, like standard, in order to do that you just go to button and then you go to new, or excuse me, reset right there, and it says do you really want to reset, and press yes, and look at that, it rearranged every single thing, all your panels, and brings them back to like you just opened your program. So again, a new pretty much just gives you a new file, but reset, it makes the interface change back to standard interface. So that's why those two are separate, and yes, they do actually do two different things. So aside from this, anytime you want to open a file that you've already been working on, you could probably guess, you just go to file and then open. But sometimes people have like a file like that teapot file, and say I already have a couple shapes here that I want to keep as well. Well, if I go to open, like I want to incorporate that teapot into this new one, it's just going to open the teapot file alone on itself. But if I want to take that teapot file and move it onto something I've been working with, here's what I need to do. I need to go to application button, import, right down here, and I need to go to merge. And what merge is going to do is bring those objects from another file into the current file. So it's going to merge two files into one. So if you want to use another file in the file you're working on, you can't use open. You have to go to import, merge. And we'll be doing that in the next tutorial. Well, actually, we will be making objects in the next tutorial, but we may use that as well. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're actually going to be creating our very first 3D objects. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be the funnest tutorial yet. So again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next tutorial. What's up, guys? Welcome to your fourth 3ds tutorial. And I got a comment from someone, and they say it's 3ds, not 3dsMax. Well, too bad. I'm calling it 3dsMax. So welcome to your 3ds/3dsMax tutorial. And in this tutorial, we are going to be creating objects for the very first time, and if you don't count that little time we created that teapot in the last tutorial. But let's get right into it. Enough talking. So in order to create an object, you need to go to the create panel, which is in your command panel. And as you see, you got 5 different tabs right here: create, modify, hierarchy, and all these good ones. What we want to be is in the create one right here. And even in this create panel, we got, let's see, 6 different subcategories. That's geometry, shapes, light, cameras, helpers, space warps, and systems. We want to make sure we are in geometry because we're going to be creating basic geometric shapes. So let's go ahead and pick any of these objects. I'm going to pick a sphere because it's the easiest to create. And go ahead, and once you click it, you see it'll change color. And all these little submenus, what are called rollouts, pop up. But you can ignore them for now. And go ahead, anywhere, click and drag outward. And this is going to create your sphere. And that's all you have to do to create any object. Anytime you want to create an object, just go ahead and click on the one you want to create. Click on it in the viewport and drag it. And you're going to be in create mode. So for example, you're going to have box selected. Go ahead and, well, you don't know how to create a box yet, but go ahead and create that. Then when you click somewhere else, you can go ahead and create another one and another one. But what if you want to get out of this mode and you want to stop creating objects and you want to actually edit them? Well, anytime you want to edit or escape the create mode, you can either hit select objects, and then when you click and drag, it does nothing. Or if you're in create mode like this, you can just go ahead and right click, and that's going to allow you to escape create mode too. So anytime you want to escape create mode, just go ahead and right click. It's the easiest way. So now you can see that every object you have, if you select an object, I want to say Maya, but what Autodesk did was they automatically gave it a name and a color. And of course, these names aren't very creative or inventive, so we can go ahead and change those by changing this to like ball instead of sphere. And we can also change the default color. It gives it a random color, but if we want to change that, just go ahead and double click this palette, pick a color, and click OK. There are also some other settings, but I never use them. And you usually want to, oh, and here's another thing. If all your objects are getting the same color, then that means somehow you toggled this button off, assign random colors. So make sure that is checked on if you want each of your objects to have a different color, which you usually do. Then go ahead and click OK. So now you know how to change the name and color. And another thing I want to take note of, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control A, and it's going to select them all, and I'm going to delete them because I want to teach you guys something else. Different objects have a different number of clicks and drags required to create them. So for example, whenever I created this sphere right here, I just clicked and dragged once, and bam, I created it. But for example, say I wanted to create something like a cone right there. This one has 3 click and drags that you need to create it. The first one is the base radius, or the base. The second one is the height. And the third one, when I let go, click and drag, is, I don't know what you call this parameter, the pointiness of it or the roundness, pretty much the top of it. So just take note of that different objects have a different number of clicks and drags. So if you think you're done, you may not be done. Now, as soon as you create an object, you can go modify it in these parameters right here. So for example, you can change the height of it. Well, let's change the radius too. Notice it's pointed at the top. We can change that to like 10 and then click away and you can see the changes. Or we can change the height to 18 or 17 and then go ahead and click, it'll be shorter. But here's the thing, when you click away to another object, say select object, and then you click back to select this one, those parameters aren't editable anymore. So we're saying, alright, I want to make this ball a little bigger, so I'll just click on it and I'll go over here and change. WTF, where'd they go? I can't change the parameters anymore. Well, in order to change the parameters, what you need to do is go to the Modify tab after you created it, and this is where you can change the parameters. And again, you can enter something numerically, or you can click these, or you can just click it once and drag it. So that's probably the easiest way. So again, I don't want you to forget that. As soon as you create an object the very first time, you can edit it by hand. But as soon as you click away from it, then you can't edit it anymore. As soon as you click away from it, then you need to go to the Modify tab, and that's how you can edit it. So I guess the last thing important that I want to teach you in this tutorial, let me create a box real quick. One click for the base, one click for the height. In order to delete an object while it's selected, and remember, if you want to select another one, just go ahead and click select object up here. You just go ahead and select it and press the delete button on your keyboard. That's the easiest way. And now another important thing that I know is going to come in handy, anytime you guys want to undo something you did, whether it's creating or deleting something, just go ahead and hold down Control and press Z. So if you made a mistake by accident and you want to go back and undo that mistake, just hold down Control and Z. So that's D for delete to delete an object, and Control Z to undo one of your mistakes. So that's that for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to be going over creating some more advanced objects. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.